All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the I Am the Possible podcast experience. I am Travell C.W. Lynch, Mr. What, and this is still the place where possibilities become perspective. Guys, super excited. This week, I'm doing something a little different. Last week, we did something a little different out the box, and so I'll continue to do things a little different and out the box because it's time not only for me, but for you, for all of us to do things as we've been designed and created to do them. As I shared, I believe it was last week on the podcast, I shared one of my favorite quotes. I think possibly my favorite of all time now. I think it's taken first place. But don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go and do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. And so I've got with me here on location of someone who I believe has come alive. And I want to do an interview with someone that I've mentored, that I've fellowshipped with, that I've done life with for many, many years. Brother, definitely from another. But I wanted to ask him some questions, and I just wanted to hear his heart in this season, because he's going through a season of life where there's a lot of lessons that can be learned. And I believe that you guys will benefit greatly from hearing these lessons and from hearing the things that he's going through and the decisions that he's starting to make in his own personal life. So, CJ, welcome to the I Am the Possible podcast, man.
Appreciate you having me again.
Yeah, man. It's always a good time here. You know what? I think, and I don't think I ever told you this, and maybe you can look it up on YouTube, but no, you know what? It's in my downloads statistics.
Okay.
So you wouldn't see it on a YouTube, but your episodes are the highest ranking.
Really?
Yeah, because I think it was maybe a year ago where they started showing us statistics.
Okay.
Because back in the day, podcasting was very weird. It was just put out content.
Yeah.
But we're not going to tell you how many subscribers you have. We're not going to tell you how many downloads you get. We're not going to tell you what they're doing. Just put it out there. But now we see a lot of the statistics that are coming through. And I was going through it like last week, and it was like, every time we got together and we did one, the downloads went through the roof.
Wow.
So
that's amazing.
Yeah, so now you got to keep it up. Now the pressure's on you. But yeah, man. So I just had a couple of questions, man. We're going to take this in segments, call this part one.
Okay.
And just let it flow, man. Just be natural, just be yourself. Yes. The first thing I wanted to ask you, man, just when you look at your life and where you are today, what's been the greatest lesson that you've ever learned? If you take it from the time you've been born to today, what's something that has stuck with you that has had the greatest impact?
The greatest impact? I would have to probably say that keep in trust that there is a higher power, that there is a God that looks out for you.
Wow.
That has good intentions for you. I would have to say that I've doubted, second guessed.
Man, thank you for being honest, bro. Thank you for being honest.
I've lost track. When I got off track many of times.
Yeah.
To the point where I probably shouldn't be here. Either in this life or in this setting. I could be in jail, I could be dead. Those are the possibilities that I put myself in.
Yeah.
So for me to still have a praying mother, praying father, a great community around me, and God never losing faith in me to change. I think that's been the greatest thing, and I'm witnessing blessings because of my small changes in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing his hand on me. So I can only be forever grateful for that.
That's what's up, man. Yeah. Yeah. I thank you for being that honest, man, because, and maybe that'll be another question that I'll have at some point, but being honest enough to say that there's been times that you've doubted, but then also like acknowledging that there's something greater. What do you think, being that you've doubted and you've kept the faith, as we say, what do you think has been the biggest payoff, the benefit, the return on investment? Because it's an investment for you to believe in a God, and then let alone like make changes in your life because you believe that there is a God. Like that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people believe, oh yeah, God's out there somewhere. There's this thing called God. But then to literally make lifestyle changes because you believe in God takes a different level of trust. What's been the biggest payoff?
I would probably have to say my kids.
Okay.
And myself, teaching myself, and through the grace of God of how to be more loving to people and to my children. You know, when I was off track, you know, I had very little care. I knew that they were in my life. I knew I had kids.
Right.
You know, I knew that I can come to them, they can make me laugh, you know, whatever the case may be, but I was never involved like I should have been. I kind of discredit myself a lot, which is, I mean, that's a process that I'm going through at this time, but, you know, just to see the love that I'm giving now to them, to see me change and to see them accept the change has been amazing.
Yeah.
You know, kids have the smallest memories. I could yell at them 1 minute, the next minute we playing. You know, so for me to actually be able to control myself in front of them and be able to talk to them, be able to just fellowship with them when mistakes are made in front of me, you know, I'm able to just have a conversation with them. It's been amazing to see the growth that they've done and the growth that it's made me become. I've become more of a subtle man. I'm not so much as trying to be a drill sergeant. Telling them every single thing, what to do, how to do it, and it's just more of like, just let them make the mistakes, and just have their backs. So to see them to still love me the way that they do, that's the greatest investment ever.
Feel that. Why does that matter to you? Like if someone's listening and they're like, yeah, I got kids too, and you know, I'm there, but maybe I'm not there as much as I should be. And I know I could be doing better. You know, that's the story that they're telling themselves. That's what they're feeling, right? What makes that matter? Because in life, what I find is, and I just came across this the other day. I think it was Damon John, the guy from FUBU. He says, you don't need a plan. You just need a reason. I said, man, that makes sense. Like how we say, you know, like, what's your why? Like basically something has to mean something. And through that meaning, you have this level of like motivation that gets you through the storms and the challenges. And, you know, so for you, what would you say, you know, the fact that you went to your kids and that was the first thing that came up for you? Because normally the first thing that comes up is the thing that matters most. Why does that matter? Why does your kids, you being a better father, you being a present father, you being a father that they are able to access and be able to forgive or to be normal with, to have the privilege of you having their back? Like, why does your interaction with your children or whatever whatever you're creating with your children, why does that matter?
I think what you just said,
Okay.
creating
Okay.
the creating part. You're creating, you know, a mini you,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
in a way,
Yeah, in a way.
because you're giving them your thoughts,
Yeah.
you're giving them your experiences. So for them to they either gonna listen to them
Right.
or it's gonna go in one ear and not the other, which most of the times that is the case.
Right.
So until they get older and then they're like, oh yeah, that's what Dad was saying. Oh
Right.
yeah, now I get it, type thing.
Yeah.
But it's just those conversations, man. Those conversations that I'm having with my daughter now, because she's 14, about to be 15 in a week.
Wow, man. Okay.
So, just having normal conversations with her
Yep.
is,
Yeah.
man, it's one of the greatest feelings ever. I don't know why. I can't explain it. It's just like just to have an adult type conversation with her about her friends, about what she's going through, and just giving her advice.
Yeah.
And just saying, but also putting it as in like, hey, this is still up to you.
Right.
This is, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you when to do it, but I'm just giving you advice to see, and you figure out what's best for you. So her being able to maneuver her way around the situations and things like that in school, and it's about that time where boys get involved, and so I gotta worry about that.
Yeah,
So
man.
it's just I gotta pray a little bit more.
Yeah, right.
But I
Okay.
think it's and I feel it like just like God. God wants to conversate with us. He wants to have a relationship with us. He wants us to call upon his name,
Yeah.
and to get him involved in our things, in our situations. I heard like, you need to pray in order for God to intervene.
Right.
Without you praying, how you expect things to change?
Right. Right.
So having those conversations, with God, and knowing that He hears you, it's a different magnitude of how to go about life. And He loves that interaction, and just like a father,
Right.
with his child, loves that interaction, loves to be called upon. Hey, Dad, can you help me?
Right.
Hey, Dad, I need advice. Hey, Dad, can you come over? Hey, Dad, can you pick me up? Things like that, the small things, it means so much. It makes you feel wanted,
Wow. Yeah. Never looked at it through that lens.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I think I once heard I'm not sure where I heard it. I hear so much because I'm always looking for more.
Same here. I know what you mean.
Yeah, right.
Put too much information.
So I heard once that that God is. Oh yeah, because it was a conversation where people are like doubting just God's existence, and it was in so many words because I'm like paraphrasing it. God is as accessible as you access Him. Is because it was like, oh no, God ain't here because, and then they'll like go down their little laundry list of like why God's not here or why God's not whatever. But then this person, and I don't even remember, like they certainly weren't religious like that. They certainly weren't like all like that. They were just like a normal, easygoing, whatever. But they were like, yeah, man, God's real. God is there, but like. You're only going to, because their point was, you're only going to experience God to the degree that you're like involved or engaged. That was the word that they used.
Okay.
So He can, or it or her, however you want to frame it, because today there's so many perspectives on the entity of God. Yeah. We don't even want to go down that path right now. But the idea is whatever you call God, God is present, but will only respond to the level in which you engage.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like the opportunities are there, but they're just not taken.
Yeah.
Somebody might say, man, well, God just dropped us in the earth and left us on our own, and now we don't know what to do. And the person was like, yeah, well, you could pray and believe that God is giving you wisdom. The only difference is either you don't pray or you don't believe that he's giving you wisdom. But to the same person or to another person that could be in the same position as you, they pray, they believe that they're receiving wisdom from God, and they go on about their business and they execute on the wisdom. Another person says there is no God. I'm going to look for wisdom within myself or from somebody else. And they choose to go about getting that information, and then they make their way.
Yeah.
The only difference was that person who believed in God prayed for God's wisdom and believed that they received God's wisdom. So it's not like God isn't there. They were just basically saying anything can exist. If you don't engage with it, what do you expect? Like we're sitting here in front of this TV, it's there, but if I don't cut the remote, like if I don't engage with the TV, it just sits there.
Yeah.
So what do you expect?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Just I don't even know why I went on that tangent.
No.
But yeah, man. So okay, one more question, as it concerns kind of the lesson that you learned. What would you say if, trying to frame it in a way, as an example, let's say you have a newborn baby, let's just say, I guess that's the best way to put it. Newborn baby, and you've been told and we're totally making this up, somehow, some way, the U.S. government comes up with this way of taking control of this baby's brain, and they're going to do this experiment.
Okay.
And the baby gets to know 3 things for the rest of his life.
Okay.
That doesn't get to know anything else. And they come to you for whatever reason. They come to you and this, CJ, we will implant the knowledge of 3 things into this baby's brain, and that baby will have to do life out of those 3 things. Everything else they will never know about. Now, as a physical functioning body, they will live and breathe and taste and eat, like all of the senses will be there. But in terms of knowledge, what they are able to grow in their knowledge of, 3 things. What would those 3 things be?
That's a good question.
They only get 3.
I would,
Like, for example, if you don't say mathematics, if you don't say science, then, for example, they'll never know 2 + 2 = 4. They'll never know that because you didn't say math. Or science, they'll never know that there's a galaxy out there, or they'll never be able to consciously understand that there's this thing called gravity, right? So whatever 3 things you choose, you eliminate the possibilities of them knowing anything else.
Okay.
And
I would have to say love.
Okay.
And I would probably have to say the good and evil.
Okay. Now, is
As
that
in, like,
2 and 3, or is that its
2 and
own
3.
one thing?
2
Oh,
and
2
3.
and 3.
Yep.
So love 1, good 2, evil 3.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So now let's start with the love. Why love?
That's the point of life. It's to love. It's to love one another. That's one of the 2 commandments, if not both of the commandments that God gives us. It's to love your God with all your heart, mind, and soul.
All right.
And then love your neighbor. Those are the two that he presented. The main focus as to why he came is to love. And then for the good, obviously like joy and experience, the excitements throughout lives, throughout our life and stuff like that. And then evil, pain. You can't go through life without pain.
Wow.
So the evil, the things that people do, think, say, you need to know about that in order for you to be able to adapt, in order for you to be able to still to love, to do good, which the good and the love outweighs the evil. So the more of those first two things that you have, at least you know what it is.
Right.
You know what it is, and you're able to, control it in a way, I would say.
Wow. Well, listen, man. Yeah, you know how we prayed before we started this. Yeah, I'm learning in my season of life to allow God to flow and allow whatever needs to happen, and to honor that. How profound it is that you would say those three things, which are knowledge of emotions, or emotional based. They're not necessarily emotions in and of themselves. Maybe love is. Good and evil, I guess, can be interpreted as different things. But my point is that you named three intangibles, which is really profound. So I'm gonna stop on this episode, and then we're gonna pick up with part 2. And I have another question for you specifically around that very thing. It's funny how you didn't know what I was going to ask you, but how it directly connects to the other thing that I was going to ask you. So, yeah, so we're going to wrap up this one, man, and then we'll come back for part 2.
Cool.